Some energy. Come on. Yeah. So, Mr. Eazi, once again, welcome to Irembo. These are some of the members of the team. We're a bigger team than this, but of course, because of the pandemic, we've had to have some of them working remotely. But we're super excited to have you here. We also felt like this would be a great time to have a conversation with you. You know, everyone here knows your music. We've danced to your music, listened to your music, but I also feel like, you know, this is a great opportunity to get to have a really get to also have you share with us a little bit of your experiences. So, team, I really want you to, first of all, we're going to have like a quick chat with him, and then after that, if you have any question for Mr. Eazi, please feel free to do that. So, first of all, obviously you've been in Rwanda for now over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Would like to know, you know, how has your experience been touring the country here and getting to meet the different people and the different businesses you've been up to. So maybe you would like to share the experience with that.
Yeah, I was suffocating with this.
So feel free to, yeah.
But yeah, thanks guys. I've been here for 3 weeks. I actually just extended again, just right now, in the car downstairs. I swear, bro. Yeah, now that I have a job. I literally just downstairs, I just extended to Sunday. But I made sure I told my agent, I was like, please, if I call you to extend again, tell me it's not possible. But yeah, I've enjoyed it here. I think I've met a lot of, you know, good people, including Obinna. Maybe I'm biased because he's my Nigerian brother. One of the coolest people I've met. But what has been, you know, very interesting coming here, even though I've traveled to quite a number of African countries for music and non-music, is the fact that I see like young people like myself doing cool things and being in positions that matter. Because, you know, I personally feel like if, you know, our continent is a young continent, very soon I'll be 30. That means I'm about to be over the line of the 60% under. So I think if I could change my date of birth, I'll just go down and turn it 24. But the fact that it's a young continent, I feel there needs to be young people in leadership driving the path of our future, because we're the ones that will spend the most part of the future. So I've seen that energy here. I've seen, you know, I've not just seen it on just the governmental side. I've met with some entrepreneurs as well. I've even met, you know, had conversations with my driver, had conversations with the guys at the desk in the hotel, you know, so, and students as well. So except everybody is actually trying to fool me, there seems to be some, you know, some consistency in the energy of people here, and it's exciting to be here, and hopefully I can make here one of my homes.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So many of us had that you're an entrepreneur. So besides you being a music icon, maybe we'd like to go back a little bit back to your journey before being actually the musician that we know today. There's also the entrepreneurial side of you. Maybe taking us back a little bit on that, how it came to be, and obviously leading your story to Rwanda. Here we are today, looking at all these business opportunity. Maybe if in a few seconds you could connect that story with us, that would be so great.
So quickly, I you know, growing up, I just wanted, one thing was really clear for me. I wanted financial independence, you know, right from the earliest age. When, you know, I didn't like it when I had to meet daddy and like pitch and be a good boy just because I wanted to buy candies. So I wanted to be able to be rebellious, really, and just do whatever I wanted. And so that drove even my choice of picking the sciences. And really, when I picked the sciences, in high school, I just really looked at my uncles and said, who's the rich ones? And and they're engineers. And I said, okay, I want to be an engineer. So it wasn't really because I wanted to fix anything. It was because I just felt that was the easiest path to financial independence. But somewhere during I think maybe around my first year, I started to intern at a company called Schlumberger, which is like one of the most foremost engineering, well services companies because I studied mechanical engineering. And just in those periods of internship, those short internships, I realized that wasn't what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. I was doing it. I was good at doing it. Let me just say that I wasn't. I was doing it, but I knew I wanted something different for myself, and so I think it was around that time I really discovered what entrepreneurship could be. Because I read a book, The Titan, John D. Rockefeller. So just reading that just inspired me. I'll go back to school. I realized that my school was too many bookworms there, so we never had parties. Everybody was just reading. And so I saw that as an opportunity, and I started to do parties. So that's what basically brought me to the entertainment world, because I saw those parties as easy ways to get money every 2 weeks, because people will pay for tickets, they'll pay for drinks, from there. And that's how I started being friends with artists, because from doing parties, I started doing concerts, to mega parties, to fashion shows, award shows. And, I never really wanted to be a musician because I saw up close the lives of the artists, and I knew how much I used to pay them at the time. So I didn't feel it was interesting enough for me to do. But fast forward, that became a hobby. And so every time I was bored, I would follow my friends to the studio to record. And now that I look at it, that was like training for me. So I finished my first degree in mechanical engineering. I got into gold trading in Ghana. From gold trading, I was mixing that with a little bit of fast-moving consumer goods. I was introduced a drink called La Casera to Ghana, to having like a chain of shawarma. You eat shawarma here, right?
Yes.
Having a chain of shawarma shops, and everything. And on the back of that, I'll still go to the studio, and people said, "Oh, Eazi, you're good. Eazi, you're good." And so my friend will help me upload it, blah blah blah. But something happened where the Ghanaian government decided to clamp down on gold mining, artisanal mining for non-Ghanaians. And so suddenly I realized I was non-Ghanaians. I saw them arresting people, and I didn't want to go to jail. So I went back to Nigeria, really to get capital to go back to be able to do the legalized mid-scale mining. But going back to Nigeria, I think I was like 21, and meeting all my uncles, telling them I needed $200,000 to go mine gold in Ghana. Everybody thought I was crazy. And so I was looking for money. I couldn't find money. And then I saw online an ad that said 88 MPH, a VC that was investing in tech startups. And there was one more day till the deadline of submission. And so I looked around. I said, what tech startup do I have? I didn't have any tech startup. But I remembered I had a friend who sold phones in Computer Village, which is the major market. So I went to him. His store was maybe like the size of this room. And then I said, give me all your invoices. He gave me all his invoices. I spent the whole night entering his invoices into like Excel sheets, drawing out a business plan for him. He had a website he wasn't using. I basically packaged the business very well. The following morning, I went to meet the guys from 40 NG. I pitched the business to them, which was at the time selling second-hand pre-owned devices online. I pitched it, I got into the program, and then it's like my trajectory changed to, that was my introduction to, meeting engineers, meeting tech startups, understanding how people build products, etc., etc. And in that time, everything I was learning I was in the incubator program for 2 years. Everything I was learning, I would start to put it into the music, like just for fun. So the marketing, I'll just put it into the music just for fun. And I remember by 2015, December, I began to see that I was beginning to have a fan base. And the reality for me was when I got a call one day. I got an email and then got a call where somebody was offering me $1,500 to sing on a song. So I said, wow, this is real. So somebody can pay me 1,500. But I thought it was one-off. I do that. The next thing, I got another call to do my first UK tour, I think in March 2016. And to be honest, even when I took the tour, to me it was like, okay, I've been working in this startup, you know, this whole thing. Now I need a break, I need a holiday. So I remember taking £12,500 to go do 5 shows. And when I went there to do the shows, I started seeing it was 1,000 capacity shows. And I remember one show I was going in and I saw the crowd and I asked the guy at the gate, and like, who's performing? And it's like, you are performing. I was like, is there any other person performing? He's like, no, it's just you. And you know, going there and seeing that I had this audience, I took the money, I reinvested everything, shot a couple videos. I remember going back home with £20, you know, showing my mom like, hey, mommy, I went. This is £20. That's what I made. That's what I came back with. And I went back to my VC and I said, hey, I don't think I'll do this phone business anymore. I want to go the way of music. I had read a book called Empire State of Mind by Jay-Z, so I kind of understood, you know, I had a plan, which is still what I follow till date. And I told him I valued the business at that time, the music business, my music business at the time, at $500,000 pre-money valuation, and I wanted to raise $100,000. So lately I saw the deck that I had done, and I showed him, and he laughed. He's like, yo, easy, you're not a musician. Me and you know, like, you're a hustler, you know. So he said, what do you actually need money for right now? And I said, hey, I want to go do a tour in the UK, and off the back of that, I'll decide whether to do music or not. He gave me £10,000 loan, convertible loan that, if not paid in 3 months, will convert to more equity in the business, in the phone business. And then I booked the venue myself with all the experience I had gotten from promoting shows in uni. I brought it and I sold out the 2,500 capacity venue in London, not with a promoter, like just off Facebook and Instagram advertising. And from that day, July 22nd, 2016, I said, hey, I'm now gonna be a musician but bring that same mindset of creatives as startups, bring that into the music. And so, you know, that took me on an exciting ride up until 2018 November, where, you know, I'd been fiercely independent, reinvesting 99% of all I earned back to growth hack, you know, doing a lot of data mining to decide who I collaborate with, where I market, how much I spend on marketing, working with the same guys that were in the incubator program to do all the tech stuff for me. And at the point I wanted external financing to launch my album. And so, because I was just sick of constantly using my money, and so I was like, hey, I wanna do this myself. And I guess that was what brought Empower Africa, which is the music company now, because I started to say, hey, music distribution is tech driven. It's just, you know, a platform, API integrations to Apple Music, Spotify, blah blah blah, and it's just tech at the end of the day. And so I started saying I must be able to build. All my friends, I don't code, I cannot write one line of code, but I was like, hey, I'm sure I can speak to my guys and they can build this platform that will distribute music. And so I actually paid to start setting up the platform. And then I saw how long it was gonna take. And so I started finding companies that could white label the solution to me. I found one that didn't work out until I found one in America, and then I invested in the platform, and then I started doing my music distribution myself. I started doing my publishing by myself, everything by myself through one whole dashboard. And through that dashboard, I could then see what's happening. You know, I could make informed decision. Before I would do it, I would have to go to YouTube and check, to Facebook and check. But now I could see everything on one dashboard, and if I was flopping, I don't know. If I release a song and it's not going to be a hit, I start seeing it going down. Like, you know, and essentially that is what then led to Empower Africa. And so I started the program, Empower Africa program, which is, I gave grants to 100 artists. And then just like you do for startups, I gave grants to 100 artists, which was used to create music and videos. I put it on a channel. Since I could control the back end, it was easy for me to set up. And from those 100, I gave like the same amount of money, the same marketing budget, and then I picked the best performing 10. So it's essentially the same thing that happened with the 440 program. I took them to South Africa for 3 weeks for an incubation program. And from there, I made them put their career into like a business model canvas and pitch to me. So when you pitch to me, you pitch with the canvas plus all the music you've made during the camp. And from there, I invested in 2 artists who ended up becoming huge successes in their different countries. And the biggest name is Joe Boy from Nigeria. And so for me, it was more of proof of concept, because if I've done it for myself, I should be able to replicate it to show that there's a process. And between the last 2 years, we've been able to do that consistently. I did again a convertible loan at that time, 5 million post-money valuation, raised $1 million, started it, and now I'm presently raising $2 million at 12 million post-money valuation for the music business. And again, so at this point it converts, obviously, and again it's essentially the same thing. It's essentially me bringing that same mindset from when I was at 440 to the music business. And so far it's been working. And on the side, obviously, since I've kept in touch with the guys at 88 MPH, L5 Lab, and then I remember meeting E from, at that time they were at Andela in 2013. So we stayed friends, and somehow I've still maintained the friendship with the tech guys. And so anytime there's something happening, some investment, I would invest. I started doing business with 88 MPH, and then it's taking me on an exciting journey. When COVID hit, I was at a crossroads where I was tired of doing the same thing in terms of jumping stages every week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I mean, I enjoy it when, you know, you get the energy from the fans, but it was becoming a moment where I was thinking, is it time to move to something else? And I started seeing I wasn't getting the happiness anymore. Like, I'll get on stage and see people screaming and shouting, but I didn't feel anything. So when COVID hit, it was like a blessing to me, because I was hoping something could stop me, and then COVID literally stopped me. And I started paying more attention to the other side, which I was doing passively. So, you know, I'm involved in, I have my fund, it's called Zagadat Capital. And we invest in cool stuff, really. And some of the stuff we're invested in is e-gaming across the continent. We just raised for a company called PowerPay. And what PowerPay does is single API integration to 10 operators across the continent. And so we provide a single API to businesses who need to collect on the continent via mobile money. And that business has really just taken off. So that was one of the reasons I came to Rwanda, because, you know, part of the sales pitch of the business is that we provide all the plumbing for businesses, so connected across Africa. And obviously Rwanda is an important country to bring the business to. And obviously I came here for just that, and also for the e-gaming, but in the process I started to say, hey, this place is actually cool, let me see more things I can do. Started meeting founders, started meeting people. I met the guys at KIFC who made me realize what they were trying to plan with making, you know, KIFC the financial hub to make inroads into the continent. And it was beautiful for me to see actually an African country with young people trying to do these things, and basically that's why I've been here.
All right, I think that really sounds
I hope that was short. But like if there's one thing I always want to do is, I never want to feel. Anytime I get an idea, I just want to see it happen, and so, that's the thing. I feel like if you dream it, you should live it, and so, for most of my life, I never really look at it's crazy to say, but what excites me the most is not the financial gain I get from something. It's really about seeing it from when it was an idea and I was laughing about it with you, to seeing it actually turn to a product. And in the process, once you create value, you would create profit. It's just a matter of time. So if there's anything that guides me, it's just in whatever I do, if it's music, if it's getting involved in a business, if it's just some random idea, I just want to see my idea happen, but in the process, I want to create value. And I know at some point, sometimes shorter than expected, you create profit.
All right.
Between the gaming, the payments, maybe there's like 300 and almost 400 staff. And then for the music, it's just 12 staff. But what takes the most of my time, the most headache, the most challenges is in the music industry, because the music industry is the most complicated. It is one of the most complicated businesses you can be involved in. And I give you an example. On one song can exist 12 copyrights on one song. On just one 2 minutes 30-second song, there's 12 copyrights. And then there could be 20 or 30 copyright holders. And there could be some collections in terms of revenue collections are individual, some are bundled up. So you could be collecting, so on one song you're collecting from say 61 countries. Then you're managing 12 copyrights. Then you're managing 8 copyright holders. And then you're managing a lot of because for everything there's legal, back to back to back. Of course, tech is making things simpler now, in terms of now if I collaborate with you on a song, and let's just assume it's only 2 of us that are involved in the song, when we agree, when we sign the contract, when we upload it, right from the point where we are uploading, like if we use my platform, we could say it's 20% to you, it's 80% to me. And then every month when you get paid, it will go straight to you. Your 20% will go straight to you. Mine will come to me. But in the past, and not a lot of people have fully adopted, using tech. Obviously, because when you use tech, things become more transparent, and a lot of the music industry is gaining from the fact that things are not transparent. And so obviously, I like sometimes I sit and say, is it rocket science for you to just upload, for everything to just be digital? Why must it be physical? Why must I have to request for my statements? Why do I but obviously for obvious reasons, because a lot of people like to manipulate in the industry, it makes it quite challenging. So it's the most exciting thing I'm involved in, but it's the most challenging just because a lot of people profit from things being disorganized. Yeah, so that's been my most challenging, just breaking into the music industry or building a music business independently outside of the majors, and still being able to record some success. Because on one side is that, on the other side is the politics of music. And the more you get bigger, and the more you work with bigger artists, the more you see how ugly the music industry is. And sometimes if you're emotional, it will break your heart, because imagine you've been wanting to work with these artists who you think is like the greatest since sliced bread, and then you go into working with the artists, and then you see the reality is bad contracts, you see the reality is you not being paid for your work, you not being credited for your work. You know, it could dissuade you, but I mean, things are getting better with technology. I think the best thing to happen to the music industry is technology, and you know, that's why I keep investing in music tech, and hopefully with what I'm building with Empower Africa, it could be something that will be replicated with other labels or other people involved in music business on the continent. Hypothetically, there's no reason why there shouldn't be smart contracts where, you know, you could trace, you know, if I sell, and there's no reason why things like, there's something I'm trying to do with music where I'm trying to tokenize, I'm trying to make an album and tokenize some of the revenues, and then have my fans invest via the tokens, and then obviously there'll be smart contracts, etc. And when there's a sale, the person who first sold it still gets a piece of it, and then just democratize the fundraising for creatives on the continent. So all these challenges, I think tech can solve, and that's what I'm trying to do.
A round of applause for Mr. Eazi.
Thanks, man.
Once again, thank you for making time and coming to visit us.
Thank you very much.
All right.